Coach Bill Zadick, day one of the freestyle here at the Cadet Worlds, and U.S. guys, we have known people made the medal rounds. Some good wrestling and some tough changes and challenges. Let's talk a little bit about each of the guys, and then maybe an overall. Let's talk overall first. How did our guys compete? Obviously, nobody's going to go home with what they came here with.
Right. They fought hard. Our guys. I felt really good about today in that, when this team was selected, looked at the team from top to bottom, and they're extremely talented guys and a lot of high skills. So, they're pretty disappointed right now because they didn't get what they want. I thought we wrestled hard. We did a lot of good things. But internationally, one of the biggest differences I see is guys, we got to fight for control, ties. We got to fight to our finishes, and sometimes we get in deep or we get in good on our attacks, and then we expect guys to fall over, and that just doesn't happen. And today, in 3 or 4 different situations, we had some offensive opportunities that we were in deep on a leg, and either got a little bit too conservative and we're holding the position waiting for the guy to go over, or we came up off the legs to the waist, and a couple times we got thrown, and it cost us big. So we just got to be more tenacious about staying on the leg, being determined about what we're good at, and fighting to wrestle in those positions. The best wrestlers throughout the whole world, if you look at them, they don't wrestle the other opponent's match. If they get into a situation where they're unfamiliar, they work hard to get back to where they belong, and that's kind of the difference between all of our guys today, really. Specifically with Spencer Lee, wrestled a couple of great matches, beat a really tough Iranian, just kind of ran the guy into the ground, and then in his next match with Azerbaijan, came out like a load of fire, got up on him 3-0, and got into a situation where he was a little tentative hanging on the leg, and the guy did a cutback for 3. Then they got into another situation where the topsy-turvy, and he got, 3-pointed again. And, in 2 different matches that happened to him, and he's hurting right now. He's feeling really low and really down, but he needs to focus on the positive and realize the small mistake that he made, and focus his energy on the big bonuses that he had, which were, great offense, great leg attacks, good hand fighting. He just needs to stay, you have to be very rigid mentally to stay where you belong. And, Austin Gomez, same type of deal. His leg attacks looked really good early on with Iran, and he got into some upper body stuff, and it cost us.
Right, and he was the only guy outside of Lee to get repechage.
Yeah.
And he came out in that second match and wasn't able to establish himself.
Yeah, same kind of thing, working really hard to fight for. It's a different... It's not like it's rocket science. It's not like something that we don't know. It's just we're not used to having to fight so hard to get to that position. Largely in the U.S., whether it's folk style, freestyle, Greco, our success is a factor of whether we pull the trigger and attack or not. And we have to do that here, but we also have to maybe increase our savviness, and we have to be smarter about how we attack. We got to put a little more energy into our setup so we get to an opponent's legs clean and in a position to finish. And with Austin, I think that was what he wasn't able to do against India coming back through the repechage.
Right. Now Sean Faust won a couple of matches, looked pretty strong, but he didn't get through all the way, and then couldn't get a repechage match. The guy he lost to got upset with 2 seconds left in his semi.
Yeah, I thought that Azerbaijan athlete would pull us through, and he didn't. He got 3-pointed with like 5 seconds to go. So, but that's what happens when you leave your destiny in somebody else's hands. We need to be, like I said, more tenacious, more determined, more rigid, and just unwilling to accept anything but what we want, which is Cadet World titles, Junior World titles, University World titles, Senior level World Olympic titles. And just there's a small gap in our tactics and strategies that we have to continue to develop. And you know, Zeke at the senior level has put a lot of work and emphasis into it. We're seeing it pay off at the senior level. We've got to continue to develop that at the levels below, so that our athletes are maybe a little more well-rounded. I know they're super talented and passionate, and they're determined, and they want to win. But we got to develop these abilities, or it's you know, we're going to have some decent results, but the United States of America wasn't built on decent; it was built on great and exceptional, and that's what we're looking for. So you know, we have to. It's a situation that's going to benefit us in folk style, high school, college, NCAAs, as well as international wrestling. So. You know, we need to continue to focus our energy in this area and keep doing the things that we're doing well.
Sean won a few matches. Were there some things that he did well that you wanted to talk about?
Yeah, Sean, great kid. I mean, he just got out there. He fought hard and got to legs. He just peppers guys. He uses his hands pretty well for the most part, just getting to attacks. He's got a great pace. He's snapping guys, he's level changing and getting to their leg and then snapping them down and run and go behinds. In those earlier matches, he looked really sharp. Even against Azeri, he was giving that guy quite a bit of trouble with those snap downs and stuff. We just need to stay on it and continue like everybody else. Continue to wrestle where our strengths are.
Now, you had two guys that were wrestling both styles, and they ran into tough wrestlers, both Angus Arthur and John J. Chavez. Really didn't get a chance to see their freestyle except for those one matches. I mean, how did they compete?
They competed extremely well. You know, both great athletes, great kids. I think it's a pretty big challenge to come to a world level event, a world championship, and wrestle both styles. You know, Angus lost to the Azerbaijani, who was a European champ this year, and just before we started here, I think he was getting ready to wrestle, so hopefully he's pulling us through. John J. Chavez, great kid. Wrestled his first match, looked really good. Kind of got tricked against Georgia, and he's really good on that 2-on-1. And John J., he was controlling that 2-on-1 position. He came over the guy's head, and the guy kind of tipped him back for 3. And you know, I think he was. John Jay's really explosive and powerful in switching maybe his mind from Greco to freestyle. You kind of go back to your instinct, but I think he stayed upper body a little bit too much.
Yeah.
Probably the difference there. I think he's better than that guy, but you gotta make it happen between the whistles.
Yeah. Azerbaijan lost to Russia, so Angus couldn't get back in either.
So yeah, and Georgian lost the next round. So John Jay, he's got a great future in front of him. Both he and Angus, they fight hard. It's just you know, not to sound like a broken record, but we got to continue to develop our skills. It's a small margin that we're missing, but it's making a big difference. If we can close that gap, that small tactical and technical gap, I think we're going to see big results from top to bottom.
Now, we have some tough guys coming tomorrow. What should we look for in the second group?
Big day tomorrow. You know, I think I know I'm hungry for some medals. I know they are too. So hopefully they saw a little bit of today, and it reiterates the things that we talked about in camp with Coach Jamil Kelly and Mark Perry and myself. That these tactics and strategies, you gotta step on the mat ready to fight. And with the guys we have coming tomorrow, Devin Brown, Stevan Micic, Aaron Pico, Bo Nickel, Lance Bennick, if we step on the mat ready to fight and willing to take what we came for, we're going to be in a good position.
Thanks, Billy.
Thank you.